Falcons fans, welcome in to episode 9 of Out of Your Falcon Mind, an Atlanta Falcons fan cast. We come to you today in a very somber mood because we just watched, what looked like, man, I watched Alabama yesterday play New Mexico State, and it was 49-3 at the first half. And that's what that's what big teams, big college teams do to the smaller teams, but that's not what should happen in the NFL.
Right.
But anyway, before we get into that, my name is John. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Cottrell, our co-host. Buddy, what's going on, man?
John coming in hot, y'all. This is Mike Cottrell, Out of Your Falcon Mind. I'm really out of my Falcon mind today. Really somber mood. Just watch my boys get knocked out, stomped, teeth kicked out, and organs removed in front of a live audience. Everything.
Yeah, it was tough. Really before we get into it, though, just want a quick shout out to Georgia State, my alma mater. I'm wearing the hat today on the podcast because they went and got their first win against a ranked opponent in their short history of having a football program. They beat Coastal Carolina yesterday, 42-40. So that was some positive news happening here in the city of Atlanta. There's not a whole lot else going on at the moment. Thank God for the Braves. But
go Braves.
Hawks are not really doing that well right now either. Before we get on to it as well, we did, Mike, we got an email from Jason, and he had a few questions for us. And he said, "Hey guys, really enjoying the show so far. John, how did you become an Alabama fan? And Mike, were you never a college football fan, or do you watch now? And lastly, do you guys remember the first Falcons jersey that you had? Thanks, and look forward to many more shows." Jason, first of all, man, thanks very much for the email. The email that Jason sent that to was atlfalconfancast@gmail.com. All of you guys can send in anytime you want. Any questions can be Falcons related or just related to us. If you'd like to, that's cool too. I'll start, Mike. I became an Alabama fan in about the same time, honestly, around the same time I started becoming truly getting into the Falcons, because I was 9-10 years old, and I just started to really start watching football, and it was always on. My dad watched football nonstop on Saturdays and Sundays. So if I was there, I was going to be watching football, and Alabama was really good. It was actually might have been 90. No, you know what? It was 92 because they played. It was a Jay Barker team, Jay Barker led team, and they played the Miami Hurricanes in the national championship that year and won. And I don't know. It had Dean Palmer. It was a hell of a team. And I don't know. A lot of my friends were Georgia fans. I didn't want to be a Georgia fan, I guess, for whatever reason a 10-year-old can justify. So I just
Johnny
said,
bucking the system.
Yeah. So I said, I think Alabama's going to be my team. So I started liking them then, and rooted for them since then. So, and Mike, let's see. Yeah. So college football, have you ever been a fan or do you watch now?
No, let me tell y'all something. I am busy 95% of my life. It's just I don't have time for it. I got time for one league and one league only. I wish but when I see players play professionally, I always wish I would have got to see them in college. So I do regret it to an extent.
Well, it's never too late to start.
I'm gonna start watching it one day. Yeah, I'm gonna get some time. When I get more time, I promise I'm gonna be the biggest fan.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to the games and everything. I heard the games are even better than professional games,
especially in the Southeast, man. The SEC,
everybody said that. Everybody said that it's a better experience than an actual professional team.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of the atmospheres in the SEC, whether it's Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. I mean, and the ACC too has some, some really good atmospheres. And Big Ten, you start getting out west, it starts getting a little iffy, but in the Northeast. But you know what though college football around DC is not really that big of a thing, is it? Or is it?
Not at all. It's no thing at all because it's no team.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. It's just guys.
The University of Maryland is the closest thing, and it's not a huge football team.
Yeah, so it's just transplants who are fans of different teams all over the place. So yeah, that makes sense. And do we remember our first Falcons jersey that we had? Man, I think this was a tough one for me because I've had so damn many. I think the first one I ever had, dude, was Jesse Tuggle.
Jesse Tuggle was an animal. Never
I think it
forget.
was. Yeah, for all you
Mine
young
was
bucks, he was
Deion
a hell of a
Sanders.
linebacker.
Mine
Yours
was
was Dion.
Dion. Yeah,
There you
that
go.
because he
Yeah,
was the reason I liked the sport of
that's
football.
right.
So it was Dion. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's I still, I wish I'd have kept those jerseys too, over like the ones I had when I was a
Man, I always
kid.
say that. Yeah,
I
I always
really
say
wish I'd
that.
have kept those, but
Man, I had Dion for the Falcons, the 49ers, and the Cowboys. Had all the Dion jerseys. And I had the Ravens and the Redskin one.
that's
I still
awesome.
got a few of those, but I'm missing some because I
Yeah,
threw them away.
yeah, yeah. That's cool. Well, Jason, man, we appreciate the email, and
Great
like I said,
question.
I already gave out the email, but you guys can send us a message too if you prefer. Our Instagram is Out of Your Falcon Mind, and our Twitter is Out of Your Effing Mind, just FN Mind. And then you can join or request to join the Facebook group if you would like, and we can always. There's discussions in there, which also there was a discussion, Mike, that came up this week, or a topic that we need to get to soon, probably maybe hopefully this week, because we do have a short week this week. We've got the Patriots on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we have to get out a preview show before Thursday.
Okay.
So we're going to be busy this week. So we will try to get to it, but it's going to take a little bit of research on our end. But it's a very valid question because I really want to get into it. Bison on our Facebook group said on our last episode, he said, "Great listen, guys. Let's get into cap talk next episode. Really curious of what we can do in the upcoming years, if anything."
Okay.
So do some research on this. I mean, I know right now we've got literally, I think $1.6 million of cap space at this moment. So we'll get into what we've got coming off the books this year and what we've got coming in next year, and what we can do, what we cannot do, and we'll try to get into that. Maybe, like I said, it may be tough on the preview show for the Patriots, but maybe on the recap or even early next week. So we'll get into that.
Hey man, I gotta say, I'm loving the interaction.
Yeah,
Just
man.
period. All the
It's
questions
awesome.
and
Yeah.
all the everything. That's amazing. I told y'all the more y'all do that, the more fun this whole experience will be. So I really thank you and I really appreciate it.
Well, I mean, it adds so much for us because, I mean, like I said, Mike and I enjoy talking to each other, but when we can get other people involved in the conversation and bring in new topics, I mean, that's great, man. That's what we want. That's what we want. So before we get on to the, the breakdown, I guess you could say, of today's game, then something like that, I guess you could call it.
The breakdown of our breakdown.
Yeah.
You can call it that.
Yeah, exactly. So and before we get on to that though, we're going to pause really quick for an ad break, and we will be right back.